there will be a market for it. There will be a huge live gate for it. There would be a big pay-per-view number for it.
Him and Floyd fought at a very leisurely pace early. I don't think Pacquiao has that ability. He's going to go out there and try to knock his head off.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Manny Pacquiao confirms Conor McGregor fight, possible timeline revealed. Boxing royalty Manny Pacquiao has spoken out through his assistant and confirmed some news that has combat sports fans excited. Likewise, UFC megastar Conor McGregor announced on his Twitter that he would square off against Pac-Man in the Middle East. The tweet put forth by Conor McGregor didn't specify a date. However, Manny's assistant announced a 2021 timeline. Conor McGregor said, "Anyway, all water under the bridge, who gives a fook? I'm boxing Manny Pacquiao next in the Middle East."
People would buy it, and Pacquiao would have a pretty easy paycheck coming his way.
Manny Pacquiao breaks his silence. The Filipino senator in Pacquiao was largely non-committal when rumors of a fight first began to circulate. However, following McGregor's shocking revelation, it appears the WBA super welterweight champion is ready to play ball. It is confirmed the negotiation between the camp of Senator Pacquiao and McGregor is now starting to move on. Again, as what our senator says, all his fights are dedicated for the welfare and unity of all Filipinos, including this one. The statement came through via Jayke Joson via ESPN, who serves as a special assistant out of the senator's office. He touched on the fact that the proceedings from the blockbuster mega fight will go towards COVID-19 affected individuals. For the sake of all the Filipino COVID-19 victims, Senator Manny Pacquiao will be fighting UFC superstar Conor McGregor next year. The huge portion of his earnings will proceed to those who are affected nationwide by the pandemic. Our lawyers are finalizing all the confidential details, but both fighters are getting ready for this one epic last boxing fight. Conor McGregor has already been part of a show-stopping boxing event when he faced Floyd Mayweather back in 2017. Additionally, Pacquiao and McGregor have shared an association under the same management umbrella, thus adding an additional narrative to the fight. Retirement must be looming for Manny Pacquiao. Having just turned 39 years of age and with his sharpness dwindling with each passing fight, Pacquiao should seriously consider hanging up his gloves before it's too late. And it would appear that the Filipino fighting legend is eager for one more monster payday before getting out of Dodge. The interest in a rematch with Floyd Mayweather is almost non-existent considering the quality of their long-awaited initial meeting in 2015, but Pacquiao seems to be taking a page out of the money book by pursuing a fight with the biggest draw in combat sports. Conor McGregor stands alone as the most reliable pay-per-view cash cow, and having watched Mayweather ride off into the sunset with the easiest $300 million he ever earned, Pacquiao wants to do something similar. UFC announcer Bruce Buffer, whose half-brother Michael Buffer is a boxing Hall of Famer, has revealed that Pacquiao is so desperate to see the McGregor fight come to fruition that he's had his team personally reach out to the veteran voice of the Octagon. All respect to Manny Pacquiao, one of my favorite boxers of all time. I think for me personally, the Mayweather vs McGregor fight was the fight that we all enjoyed and got 100 worth of entertainment. I would rather see Conor get back to MMA, it excites me much more, Buffer told TMZ Sports. And you know about his training and his background. Who knows? It could be a possibility, you never know. That, to me, would be a mega fight. Stepping in the octagon, Conor has already stepped into the squared ring. Maybe it's time for someone with major status in boxing to step into the octagon. I've had some of Manny's friends call me and say, "Can you talk to Conor's management?" I've had that happen over the last 6 months. It's not my position to do that. I told them, "You guys know who to call the right people. Money talks and people walk." Joson's statement comes one day after McGregor tweeted he would be boxing Manny Pacquiao next in the Middle East. On Friday, McGregor's manager, Audie Atta, told ESPN that the two sides were in serious talks about a fight, but it wasn't a done deal yet. Atta, who represents both fighters, said the bout would take place in late December or early January, and the Middle East was among a few locations being discussed. Atta also added that McGregor is planning to return to the UFC in 2021 following his fight with Pacquiao. In June, McGregor announced his retirement from MMA for the third time. The Irishman hasn't fought since January, when he beat Donald Cerrone via TKO in just 40 seconds. McGregor previously boxed world champion Floyd Mayweather in Las Vegas in August 2017, losing by TKO in 10 rounds. McGregor said Friday on Twitter that he is boxing Manny Pacquiao next in the Middle East. The McGregor-Pacquiao boxing match would take place in late December or early January, said Atta, who represents both fighters. The Middle East is one of a few locations being discussed to host the fight, he added. In 2017, the UFC co-promoted a McGregor boxing match versus Floyd Mayweather Jr. along with Mayweather Promotions, Showtime and McGregor Sports Entertainment. That fight ended up being one of the highest-grossing combat sports events of all time. A specific weight for this proposed bout hasn't been determined, per Atta, but he said he was confident the fight would take place in the coming months. Following the Pacquiao fight, Atta said the plan was for McGregor to return to the UFC in 2021. McGregor, who also expressed frustration with his lack of activity this year, hasn't fought since his 40-second TKO win over Donald Cerrone in January. Whether this all comes to fruition, only time will tell. But I believe we might finally realize the true fighting potential of McGregor in 2021. If you go back to the end of 2016, McGregor was the reigning featherweight and lightweight champion. He'd avenged his submission loss to Nate Diaz. He wasn't considered the absolute best fighter in the world, but he was on the radar for that honor. Longtime boxing superstar Manny Pacquiao is open to fighting UFC sensation Conor McGregor if the latter's hyped cross-sport encounter with Floyd Mayweather Jr. doesn't come to fruition. Edward Tchaikovsky of Boxing Scene passed along comments Pac-Man made while speaking to Fox Sports about the rumored showdown between Mayweather and McGregor. He admitted he's open to stepping into the conversation if those talks fall apart, but only on his terms. In boxing, I would fight McGregor, but not in UFC. Just boxing, Pacquiao said. The 38-year-old Philippine senator's take on the situation as a whole fell right in line with the majority. He doesn't think the notorious would have a chance in a boxing match with money. He told Fox Sports the ring and the octagon are entirely different animals, per Boxing Scene. Alas, the guaranteed amount was only a quarter of the boxer's demands. He'd previously made comments on First Take about his view of the situation, per Brian Campbell of ESPN.com. "We tried to make the Conor McGregor fight," Mayweather said. "They know what my number is. My number is a guaranteed 100 million. That was my number. We are willing to give him 15 million and then we can talk about splitting the percentage, the back end, on the pay-per-view. That's a large gap to close, and it's unclear whether there would be enough mainstream interest in the fight to make both sides happy from a financial perspective. But Mayweather, McGregor and White are all terrific promoters who understand hype is good, even if no deal gets made. Getting the money sorted out with Pacquiao would seemingly be easier." Chris Mannix of Yahoo Sports noted Pac-Man received just $4 million in guaranteed purse for his victory by unanimous decision over Jesse Vargas in November. That said, it's unknown whether McGregor would be interested in taking on the 8-division world champion or if he's set on Mayweather or nothing when it comes to boxing. The Philippines has the most confirmed COVID-19 infections in Southeast Asia and the region's second highest number of coronavirus deaths, next to Indonesia. The 41-year-old Pacquiao, whose speed and power belie his age, is the only man in boxing history to hold world titles in 8 different divisions. He defeated Keith Thurman to win the WBA welterweight super championship in July, taking his record to the 2nd of July '62 with 39 knockouts. McGregor has only fought once in professional boxing, suffering a 10th-round technical knockout loss to Floyd Mayweather at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas in a lucrative August 2017 bout. Despite his limited experience in the boxing ring, McGregor, a former two-weight UFC champion, told Reuters in November 2017 that the Mayweather fight earned him $140 million. "We will just wait for the final schedule of the fight. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe on my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell to keep you updated on my latest video uploads."